I have said before, and I'll say again, often I expect that if you want a good introduction to the presentation of statistics, you can do a lot worse than have a look at the TED talk given by the late Hans Rosling, and if you can't find it, simply put into your favourite search engine the best statistics presentation ever, and you'll find Hans Rosling giving a demonstration of data visualization which is incomparable. But the topic I want to touch upon today is towards the end of that stunning display of statistics. He shows some data about computer use, about use of the internet, and he shows quite a strong correlation between the price, or the inverse correlation between the price of the computers and the use of computers to access the internet in different countries. And he, as a kind of throwaway remark, says, and this is why the $100 computer will be so important. It will be groundbreaking in allowing people access to the computer in countries which are less wealthy. And that stuck with me, the $100 computer. What's the $100? Must be around £60. So looking forward, as he was then, to the day when you could get a computer for $100. Well, that day is now in the past. I've got here this computer, and this one I think cost me about £30, so about $50. I've just been onto the internet and had a look, and that's the price you can get. This is not the top of the range. This is a computer called the Raspberry Pi, and this is Series 4. Maybe be Series 3, but I think it's Series 4. And now the latest one is Series 5, and that costs a couple of $100, but it's the less capable ones are still around, are still available. And the name of the computer is the Raspberry Pi. That's pi as in the Greek letter, denoting the ratio of the diameter of a circle to its circumference. Now, you probably, like the young student who helped me buy this on the internet, will look at it and say, it's not a computer, it's I don't know, memory storage for a computer. It's a model of a computer. She didn't believe I was going to get a fully functioning computer for the equivalent of $50. And it's true, this is, by any standards, a cut down computer in the sense that it doesn't have a keyboard. The engineers who designed and built this in the first instance, and the first Mark I Raspberry Pi was given away free, sellotaped to the front cover of a computing magazine. It was that cheap. The engineers who designed this said to themselves, we want to reduce costs as low as possible. Everybody who can get hold of one of these will probably have an old keyboard from a computer laying around, and they can plug it in here. There are 4 USB ports. All a person has to do is find an old mouse, find an old keyboard, they can plug them in, and they'll have their input available to them through these USB ports. If they want more memory, other memory sticks can be plugged in. It's got no screen, and that's also true. If you want to see what's going on in this computer, well, here's an HDMI connector, standard connector. Everybody in the world, not everybody in the world, but the vast majority of people in the world have access to a television that they can plug this into. So you've got a screen, we find what's around available to us cheaply, we can plug it in. An old keyboard and an old mouse, we can plug it in. This obviously has no power supply. The power supply of a computer is a major part of what's in the box. What this has is a connector for a standard telephone charger. So everybody by now is using mobile phones. Probably you're on your second or third smartphone. You've got an old charger around in a cupboard somewhere or a drawer, and you can use that to power this. No loudspeakers, but we can plug headphones in, earphones. It's got all of the capacity that you would need for a simple computer. I'm not sure that you want to be playing graphical, high resolution graphics on it. It does have wireless connection to the internet through Wi-Fi, so it can connect to the internet, and it comes with software, a word processor, spreadsheet, database, some music composing software, a wide range of software. The operating system is Linux, so it operates free software that is available, open source software. It does take a little bit of setting up, so you may need a bit of help to get this operating, but here you are, here's the $100 computer, well, $50 computer, and it does pretty much anything that you would want on a laptop to do. It's presentations on screen in the classroom. I've used this in the classroom to project my slides onto the whiteboard. Built by people who wanted to restore to young people the opportunity to take a computer apart and play with it. Now that laptops are costing £2,000, $3,000, nobody wants their offspring to be taking their computer apart and find out what it does and how it does it. Here's the opportunity. Now, why am I going on about this? Because I think there is a methodological point here about educational research. And I have supervised a number of people who have conducted studies, and one of the formats in which educational research often goes is we say, well, here's a new technology, teachers aren't using it. Teachers are not using computers in the classroom. Teachers are not, let's go and ask them why they're not using it. And I mean, if you can't imagine what teachers are going to tell you, then I don't think you should be in this business. You can imagine teachers will tell you, I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, I'm doing other things. I only have limited time during the day, I'm not allowed to take the computer home from school because it's too valuable, I can't have time to get to know the computer, to know the software, and to get to familiarise myself with it to the extent where I'm comfortable using it in teaching. And many studies are on that basis, that if you want to find out what an educational reform, why an educational reform isn't working, you go and you ask the teachers. Well, no teacher is going to say to you, I'm too stupid to work the computer. No teacher is going to say to you, I can't be asked to do it. They're going to say there are these legitimate obstacles that prevent me from using it. Or they may just be literally telling you the truth that they don't have time to familiarise themselves with the computer and to become comfortable with using it so they can use it in their classroom. Because it's expensive and access to it is difficult, and that, I think, is why, as Hans Rosling said, the $100 computer is going to be groundbreaking. Because you can take the Raspberry Pi and you could put one in the hands of a teacher and say, here it is, take it away for a month. Familiarise yourself with it, play with it, find out what it does, and come back and see what you could do with it in the classroom. This is to move research away from just asking questions on interviews. Old-fashioned now, it seems, but an approach that was revolutionary in its day, which was about 40 years ago. Action research. You take an intervention, you look at what happens to it, and you see, and in the process of doing your research, you create better conditions of learning for the people who are studying. So I advocated on a number of occasions with students, why not take one of these Raspberry Pis? Take the Raspberry Pi. Don't go asking people questions. Show them the thing. Show them the Raspberry Pi Foundation, the online resources, the support that's available, the software that's available for specialised educational purposes. There's a wide range of information that's available free, and this is important, it's free, because, as I've mentioned in another video, knowledge, the price of knowledge, because it's a public good, because people can't be shut out from knowledge, the price is zero. You can get hold of, and by the way, not only is the price zero, it's not free to produce, but there are a lot of dedicated people out there devoting their spare time, and thank you very much to them for developing the software, for providing the educational materials. But there's a host of stuff available to the teacher who is pressed for time, for the teacher who needs help and support, for the teacher who's got specialist interests. There's a whole range of things, and we don't need another interview that finds out, what do we need? More training for teachers. What do we need? Better pay and conditions for teachers. Well, of course we do. Of course we do. But until that, we live in that paradise where teachers are paid enough and have enough time, and there's time enough to do all the things we want to do. For goodness sake, let's not waste our research energy asking questions that we can easily anticipate the answer to. Let's not waste our time on that. Let's make interventions that actually make one small corner of the world a bit better by helping people to introduce innovations.